What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with another review. This is for the Hunters Guild Red Hood Chapter 6, and man, I'm really liking this series. It's really doing some cool things that I think is cool with narration. Make sure to check out my other video 2 through 5. Basically, we're introduced to a lot. We're introduced to basically the opposite of the Red Guild that Grimm is a part of, which is the Red List. We find a witch, Cinderella. We find out as far as, basically it's set up for our first major person for the main character Valu to go against, which is the father of these two wolves that they killed. So it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on. So we pick up where that leaves off, which is pretty much a dream from Valu, and this is with the mayor, and they're chopping wood with that axe. Now, what's interesting is what the mayor says, which is, they have this dialogue, and Valu's just like, yes, it's split. You have a knack for that, the mayor says. Mayor, bring me more wood. From now on, I'll do the wood cutting. You always cut the firewood for everyone, right? Let me do it now. I want to repay you and everyone else in the hamlet. Yes. And then the mayor's like, from now on, you will be the one too. And then, boom. Valu wakes up, and they're on this freaking crab ship, basically. So that's really cool. We find out that they are heading to a town that's at the doorstep of the Hunters Guild headquarters, the border port. And we see this giant carrying a tree, and Grimm calls it a lumbering giant. Ignore it. We go into this dialogue, where basically some time has passed, the week has passed, and they've been traveling, and we get the declaration from the main character, which is, I have to go out and hunt werewolves. In order to protect the survivor villagers, you're going to try to protect the whole world. Grimm says that's some awfully strange reason. It sounds more like a child's dream to me. But for now, that's good enough. That's the dialogue that they had a week ago with why he wanted to join the guild. Now, what's interesting is, as far as Grimm's dialogue, and she's just really intrigued by the fact that he has this axe, and she goes on to say that possibly it's made out of wolfonium, but also the fact that he was able to cut a werewolf's gut in one swing with it, So there's some interesting connections that's going on with that. Now, what they're on is called a tractor hermit crab, and its name is Amber, and it's property of the Hunters Guild. Now, what's interesting is they do like a little flashback, and it looks like it's just like a full body workout and things like that. But we get into basically some more dialogue from who Lycaon is in Cinderella. So 2 members of the Red List showed up, and that's the guild's list, the top priority kill on sight targets, which is Lycaon. This is the papa werewolf, basically, the alpha werewolf of the society, and Cinderella is his partner. Now she in her head is going through saying how none of this is all too convenient. A Wolfonium acts, a boy given knight's training, flunky werewolves that show up almost begging to be killed. The village is raised in, and hardly enough I'm there to bring the boy into the guild. It's all far too convenient. Then we get introduced to the hermit crab drivers, brothers and sister, Milty the sister and Tilty the older brother. They're having their dialogue. You know, the other brother is trying to act, you know, basically tough, but he trusts, you know, he trusts Faloo. Now we're introduced to an armored crab. Now, this crab sticks things to its body, random stuff, but we find out that this thing is actually, it's being driven by a plier crab, which its favorite food is humans. And you see this crab in a freaking human skull upside down. It's crazy. So that's what's super interesting. So Grim tells brother and sister, go ahead and handle it, and Grim goes on to let Valoo know what's going on with her body. And so she says, put it simply, I was cursed, the witch's hex turned my body into that of a child. On the hunt, I can use this layer clock to transform into an adult. But it only works for about 3 hours and only once per day. After that, I'm useless for a time. It leaves me really, really tired, basically. You know, and so that's interesting. And she goes on to say that these two are skilled. And they go and they're taken care of as far as this, you know, crazy human eating crab and everything like that. And they're actually really, really good. So Valoo takes notice of it, and we get introduced to as far as, you know, Valoo's just like, so that's what guild hunters can do. I want to be as good as you two. And we find out that they're not even hunters, and they flunked out. They couldn't pass the camp. Then we get introduced as far as to this camp, which is what allows for, you know, people to get vetted out to actually become part of the guild. It is told to us that it's 3 months of hell that you'll go through yourself soon enough. And so it goes on to say that about 200 hopefuls apply for each camp. Generally 2 or so pass. Only those who can survive the harshest training earn the right to join the guild. And Blue's thinking like, yo, they're freaking amazing. How am I gonna be able to pass this if they did it? And then, you know, they roll up to the guild's mobile research facility, both camp and fortress ironworks. Both camp and fortress the ironworks. You know, and then it ends with, as far as the swole woman, which I'm thinking it might be Little Red Riding Hood. I don't know. For some reason, the way that they kind of just had a glistening and the way that they've done things, I think that could be Little Red Riding Hood. So this is a really cool chapter. I'm excited for things that are going on. I think that there's gonna be, basically we're gonna get our first either like training arc or like almost like tournament arc type of thing, you know, where before things even get to what it's supposed to be, we're gonna be introduced to all these super dope people, and it's with 200 people. Oh man, there's like a tournament arc coming. So that's super dope. That's chapter 6 of the Hunters Guild Red Hood. So, whoo, man. So I'm excited to see the other people. I'm excited to see who this person is that was at the very last panel. Like I said, I think it's Little Red Riding Hood. She's not so little, she's stacked. So that's gonna be cool. Anyways, other than that, this is the Hunters Guild Red Hood Chapter 6 review. Make sure hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm gonna do a prediction video on what I think is gonna go down on Chapter 7. But other than that, make sure to check out my manga, the Most Random Manga Ever. 8 issues you can read for free online, and you can order digital or physical. The first volume, Momentum, which will have 11 issues. So make sure to check that out. All the links in the description. It's Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction. Peace.
Coming back to earth with a couple gems of wisdom that might take a few decades to decode. So I better get the work on. No need for second guessing, cause it was already written, or was it? Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Is it all predetermined or devised by your hand? No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. No need for second guessing when you're sticking to the plan. Take control of what you can't control. Break out this handheld, hell made digital.